Hello everyone. Welcome to the lecture series of Cloud Computing and its Application. It is an elective subject for 7th sem. I, Professor Yasmin Sheikh, Assistant Professor, Department of CSC, KLS VDIT Haliyal. Welcome to this lecture series. The contents covered in this lecture are: we people are going to study the introduction. In that, we are going to study the cloud computing at a glance, the vision of cloud computing, various definitions of cloud, a closer look into cloud computing, the cloud computing reference model, characteristics and its benefits, and challenges ahead. The learning outcomes are: after this lecture, the students will have better understanding of basics of cloud computing, various definitions of clouds, cloud computing reference models, characteristics, benefits, and challenges. To begin with, first let us understand cloud computing. In 1969, Leonardo Kleinrock, one of the chief scientists of original Advanced Research Project Agency network, that is ARPANET, stated that as of now, computer networks are still in their infancy, but as they grow up and become sophisticated, we will probably see the spread of computer utilities, which, like present electric and telephone utilities, will service individual homes and offices across the country. So this statement was given by Leonard Kleinrock, who was the chief scientist of ARPANET in the year 1969, when internet was, or the computer network was in its infancy. At that time, looking into the way in which the computer networks started becoming popular, he mentioned that the spread of computers would see a era wherein the computers would be used as utilities. Utilities means the way in which we use electricity, the way in which we use telephones, etc. Utilities means we pay for how much we are going to use. So for example, electricity, we pay the bill for how much electricity we people are going to consume. Similarly, nowadays the computer utilities or the computer services are being provided as utilities. Cloud computing allows renting infrastructure, runtime environments, and services on pay per use basis. That is, cloud computing means what? An infrastructure will be provided on rental basis. The infrastructure is provided, the runtime environments are provided, and the services are provided. So all the three, the infrastructure, the runtime environment, and the services, they are provided on rent, and the user has to pay for how much he has used. That is, which is called as pay per use basis. Chief Information and Technology Officers of large enterprises see opportunities for scaling their infrastructure on demand and sizing it according to their business needs. So, for example, what happens is why the cloud computing has come into popularity is that as a business grows or an enterprise increases in size or it expands, the infrastructure that will be required also needs to be expanded. So with the help of cloud computing, the infrastructure as and when can be scaled on demand. And this scaling will not charge much. That is, without any extra investment, the infrastructure can be expanded. So here the end users, they leverage the cloud computing services. So with the help of these cloud computing services, the users can access the documents and data at any time, anywhere, and from any device, provided it is connected to the internet. So if we people want to use the cloud computing services, the most important thing is that the backbone of cloud computing is internet. Once we are connected to an internet, we can store our data or the documents at one particular place, and at any time, from anywhere and from any device, we can access that data. So for cloud computing, there are many views that exist. One of such views is that I don't care where my servers are, who manages them, where my documents are stored, or where my applications are hosted. I just want them always available, and access them from any device connected through internet, and I am willing to pay for this service for as long as I need it. That is, the cloud computing services are such a way that when we use these services, our data, our applications will be hosted or they will be stored at some particular location. We are unaware about where it is being stored. We don't know what type of servers are managing it. The only thing we are interested is we will get the data accessible anytime, anywhere, at any time, provided we are connected to the internet. This is what, in a nutshell, we can say a cloud computing is. Now let us understand the vision of cloud computing. Cloud computing allows anyone with a credit card to provision virtual hardware, runtime environments, and services. That the author wants to say that with the help of a credit card, what we can do is we can rent the services. Means doesn't mean that you have to go to the cloud service provider in person and you have to start bargaining with what are the costs, etc. anything. So you people can online look into the services that are being provided by the cloud service provider, and you can access the hardware, you can access the runtime environment, and the services can be accessed. And here you people have to pay for how much you people are going to use. So these are used for as long as needed. Here no upfront commitments are required and virtually no maintenance cost. That is, if we are using the cloud computing services, we need not be committed to a particular service provider. If you are not happy with a particular cloud service provider, at any time we can stop using the services. And basically there are no maintenance cost. Maintenance cost means we people will be accessing the infrastructure, or we will be renting the infrastructure, we will be renting the environment, runtime environment, we will be renting the services. And here the maintenance that is to be carried out, this maintenance will be carried out or it will be taken care by the cloud service provider itself. Now for an example, consider that you have a business of your own. Initially your business was small, it is confined to a particular city, and the number of people who are accessing your components or your commodities are very less. Now all of a sudden you realize that you have to expand your business. At that time, what is the first thing that comes in your mind is that uh, if at all I have to expand my business, we have to expand our infrastructure. So for expansion of the infrastructure, the first important thing is that we have to invest something. So we require some upfront commitments, that is we have to invest something. So once we are trying to expand our business, when we are going to invest something, we cannot say that the moment we start expanding our business we will get the profit. We may be in loss or we may be in profit. Okay. And if it is our own business and we are investing the amount on it, then we ourselves have to do all the maintenance kind of a thing. So all maintenance we on our own we have to take care of. But here, with the help of cloud computing, you people are just renting an infrastructure. You are just renting a runtime environment. You are just renting the services. You are not purchasing the infrastructure. You are just taking it on rental basis. If you need it, you use it. If you don't require, you can just stop using it. And if you are committed with a particular service provider, anytime when you are not satisfied, you can just quit your agreement, and the maintenance that is to be done, that will be taken care by the cloud service provider itself. So the long term vision of cloud computing is that the IT services, they are traded as utilities in open markets without technological and legal barriers. That is, as how we use electricity, as how we use LPG, in the same way we are being given a facility wherein the computing services can be expressed as utilities. So this services in the form of utilities that can be provided, it is a long term vision of cloud computing. So basically there are different stakeholders who leverage clouds for variety of services. So means the stakeholders, they are interested in storage, the compute power on demand. So these are the most important reason so as to consider the cloud computing. Now for example, say why to go very far? We everybody are using a smartphone, okay, and many of us, you students basically are very much fond of picking like clicking photos. So every time you take selfies or you click photos, you those photos get stored in your mobile. And as you all know that a smartphone or a mobile phone, it is having a limited storage. That is what the internal storage what we are speaking about, it is limited. Okay. So either you have to delete your photos. If you delete your photos, in future you will not get them back. So what can you do is you will be interested in a solution wherein you can store your photos safely, securely at some place, and as and when needed you can access it. This is what is provided by cloud computing. Now, when we take photos or we click photos, when it is there in our mobile, what we do is we simply store it into the cloud. So that is, we are renting the storage services of a cloud service provider. And as and when needed, at any time, from any place, we can earn from any device, we can access our photos, provided we require an internet connection. A scalable runtime for applications is an attractive option for application and system developers that do not have infrastructure or cannot afford any further expansion of existing infrastructure. That is, as I've told you earlier itself, there is a particular business and say a particular proprietor, he has no like funds available to expand his infrastructure, or he is not interested in investing into the infrastructure. Such a person can easily look into the cloud computing service providers and directly rent the infrastructure or the runtime environment or the services, and can easily scale or upgrade his business. So with this cloud computing approach, it will provide opportunities for optimizing data center facilities and fully utilizing their capabilities to serve multiple users. So this consolidation model will reduce the waste of energy and carbon emissions, thus contributing to a greener IT on one end and increasing revenue on the other end. Now, as we all know, the IT industries are having huge infrastructure, and these infrastructures are being like utilized only say 8 hours, and remaining, so during the night hours, or might be say maximum 12 hours, the infrastructure is been successfully utilized, and for the remaining 12 hours the infrastructure is idle. So what the IT industries they did was they came together, they formed a consortium, and they thought of starting in cloud computing service, wherein they started renting the infrastructure when it was not in use. So with this what happened was unnecessary purchasing of these equipments were reduced. So with this the amount of energy that the computer systems were utilizing was reduced, and the amount of carbon that was emitted in the environment, that also reduced. So this is what has happened because of cloud computing. Now this is a cloud computing vision. So this is a global marketplace. So here you can see there is a user. A user needs to grow his infrastructure, but doesn't know for how long. Means he wants to expand his infrastructure, but it is not quite sure for how long he has to uh, keep on expanding his infrastructure. So such users can easily go for cloud computing. Then there is another user who cannot invest into infrastructure because he has just started his business. There is another set of user whose focus is on application logic and not on maintenance and scalability issues. This user is not interested in any sort of maintenance or scalability kind of thing. He is just want to access some particular application. So for those service, for such users, again cloud computing provides certain services. So there are another set of users who want to access and edit their documents and photos from anywhere. So that is like the common people who will be using the students kind of a thing, a children kind of a thing, who are very much fond of the photos. They want to edit it as and when required. They want to post it somewhere. So that the internal storage is not sufficient. So they want to store their photo somewhere, and as and when needed, they want to access it. So such people can go for cloud computing. And here you can see that there are, say, a user or an organization who is having a huge amount of infrastructure and he want to rent it, and say there is an infrastructure who is not having that much amount of infrastructure but he want to make use of it. So such people can start giving the cloud service to the people who are actually interested in. So again, there is a user who has an infrastructure and he provides application services. So this global cloud marketplace, there are variety of users. There are some users who are interested in accessing the services, and there are some users who are interested in providing the services. So this in total, they stand or they support the cloud computing vision. The cloud computing vision is to provide computing services as utilities. Utilities means as how we use electricity or the LPG or the water supply, and we pay for how much we use. The same way, the computer services also should be provided as utilities on pay on use basis. So let's have a glance into the various definitions of cloud. So we have discussed that the backbone of cloud is internet. So internet plays a fundamental role in cloud computing, and it represents either the medium or the platform through which the cloud computing services are delivered and made accessible. That is, without internet, the cloud services cannot be accessed or they cannot be provided. So keeping this into mind, Amherst et al., they have provided definition of cloud computing which states that cloud computing refers to both the applications delivered as a service over the internet and the hardware and system software in the data center that provide those services. So according to Amherst, cloud computing is nothing but it provides applications as a services over the internet, and it provides the hardware and the system software which is available in the data centers, and these data centers, they provide these services, that is the applications that are to be provided. So again, based upon the different types of users, there are different types of definitions that exist. So looking into the notion of multiple parties, so wherein a shared cloud computing environment is highlighted. So in order to like highlight this particular point, a definition for cloud computing is proposed by the US National Institute of Standards and Technology, that is NIST. According to them, cloud computing is a model for enabling ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources. Example, networks, servers, storage, applications, and services that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. So this second definition, this stands or it better defines the cloud computing. So far whatever we have discussed, so that is what a cloud computing is. So what exactly a cloud computing is? It is a model for enabling ubiquitous, convenient, and on-demand network access. That is, as and when the demand increases or decreases, with respect to that, the services are to be provided. So in order to provide the services, we require shared pool of resources. So these resources can be either the network, the server, the storage, or the applications or the services. And these resources should be rapidly provisioned, that is provided, and will be released with minimal management effort. That is, the management will not be from the customer side. The management will be taken care by the service provider side, and there will be minimum or say very less service provider interaction. The thing here is that you want to access a cloud computing services, you come to into an agreement, you sign an agreement, start using the services. You are satisfied, you can continue further. If you are not satisfied, you can just leave the services as such. So these are the two definitions of cloud computing. So according to Rees, uh, we can define three criteria to discriminate whether a service is delivered in cloud computing style. So here in the cloud computing environment, how a service is provided. The service is accessible via a web browser or a web services application programming interface. Means we require certain internet based application that will provide user to access the cloud services. So here either a web browser is needed or a web services application programming interface, that is an API is needed using which the services can be provided. Here there is zero capital expenditure, that is if at all you want to start using the cloud computing services, you need not spend anything. So there is zero expenditure, so zero investment. You pay only for what you use as you use it. So how much you use, that much we pay. If we don't use, we will not be paying it. So these are the three criteria that indicates that the cloud computing is provided the way the vision says. Now let us have a closer look into the cloud computing services. So cloud computing is basically helping the enterprises, the governments, the public and the private sectors or the research organizations, etc. to shape more effective and demand driven computing services. So here the cloud computing services are not used by a single organization. So there are different types of organizations as mentioned here who are using these cloud computing services in order to make their business more effective and demand driven. So these services that are provided by the cloud computing are as easy as how we make the credit card transaction. So whenever we move to the ATM card, we just insert the ATM card, we get the amount and then just we come out. Suppose we are into an online shopping, then just we look into a particular product, we like it, directly we add it to the cart, we purchase it over an internet. This is what is an online shopping is. Similar way, we want a particular cloud computing services, we move to a browser, we just surf what are the different types of cloud computing service providers that are available. All the cloud service providers, we will just traverse along it, then we will see which one is better, and according to our needs and our requirements and our budget, we will select a particular service provider and start using the services. This is as simple as performing the credit card transactions. So there are some practical examples wherein many enterprises have they were not using cloud computing but have started using cloud computing. So one such example is large enterprises can afford some of their activities to cloud-based systems. So for example, New York Times has converted its digital library into a web-friendly format. What they did was they rented the Amazon EC2 and S3 cloud services. The entire New York Times, the digital library was converted into a web-based format so that users at any time can access the data. So in order to convert the New York Times digital library, it took 36 hours. Then another example wherein the cloud computing was being utilized was the small enterprises and startups can afford to translate their ideas into business results more quickly without excessive upfront costs. So for example, here to mention, Animoto is a company which creates videos out of images, music and video fragments which are submitted by the user. This process involves large amount of storage and backend processing in order to process the video. This video, after the huge amount of processing, will be available to the user. So Animato, it is not owning a single user of its own. It is totally relying on the computing infrastructure which has been provided by the Amazon Web Services, which is properly called as AWS. And this AWS is sized on demand, that is, it can be scaled on demand, and as and when the workload increases or decreases, based upon that the infrastructure also keeps on updating. So with the help of this Amazon Web Services, the Animato, it gets its user requirements been satisfied. So here Animoto is not investing anything on the infrastructure. It is simply accessing, or it is simply renting the services from the Amazon Web Services. Then the third practical example is system developers can concentrate on the business logic rather than dealing with complexity of infrastructure management and scalability. So for example, to mention here, the Little Fluffy Toys in a company in London that has developed a widget providing users with information about nearby rental bicycle services. So this service helps the users to get information about the nearby bicycle renting. So here the company manages the all sorts of information on the Google App Engine, and they market it once in a week. So here in the third scenario, you people need not concentrate much on the infrastructure, investment, management, and the scalability, all this kind of a stuff. You people will be concentrating only on the business logic as to how to increase the business, how to improve the profit, etc. The fourth practical examples is the end users can have their documents accessible from everywhere and anywhere, sorry, from everywhere and any device. So for example, to mention here, Apple iCloud is a service that allows users to have the documents stored in the cloud and access them from any device they connect to it. So this facility makes it possible to take pictures with a smartphone and store it on the cloud. When you go back home, you can again download that picture into a laptop, edit it, again store it as and when you require it. So this is one kind of a service wherein the end users can have their document accessed from anywhere or everywhere. Again, have in the earlier discussion have mentioned how the smartphones, their storage can be managed in a more effective manner, wherein the photos or the extra documents we will not be keeping into the mobile, and we can keep it into the cloud so that the mobile can be more effectively used. So these are this is the closer look into the cloud computing. Now let us understand the cloud computing environment. To understand how exactly the cloud computing services are being provided, we will look into the bird's eye view of cloud computing. So here you can see that on the top layer you are having subscription oriented cloud services. So here you have compute service, the applications, the data as a service. So these are the different types of services that are provided by the cloud servers. So here there are different types of clients who are interested in accessing the cloud services, and these users or these clients can access this cloud either by paying the amount in dollars, that is directly by paying the amount in dollars or rupees, means directly paying the cash, or through credit cards, Visa cards or Mastercards the payment can be done. So the core vision of cloud computing is that computing services will be provided as utility. So here the clients will be paying for how much they use. So basically there are three types of cloud deployment model, that is public cloud, private cloud and hybrid cloud. Private cloud exists on a particular organization wherein the services are managed by the organization itself. So the people within the organization will be accessing the cloud here. So this is what is a private cloud. There exists a public cloud wherein there will be infrastructure, applications, and the storage services that are available. These infrastructure as a whole will be given on rent to other people or to the other users. So these services can be used by the other cloud services or from other government agencies. So here in a public cloud, the services are under control of an third party. So third party will be managing the infrastructure, maintenance, the scalability, etc. will be taken care by the third party itself. There is a third deployment model which is called as an hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud, as the name indicates, it is a combination of private cloud and the public cloud. So suppose any client is interested in combination of both a private and public cloud, then such a user can move with hybrid cloud. So this is the bird's eye view of cloud computing environment. So that indicates that cloud computing does not only contribute with the opportunity of easily accessing IT services on demand, but it also provides a new way of thinking about the IT services. That is, if we have an infrastructure, whether more profit can be obtained from that infrastructure or not. Why to leave an infrastructure idle? If you have an extra resources, how you can make best utilization of it. So that is what is the theme behind the cloud computing. So now let us understand the major deployment models for cloud computing. As I have said in the previous slide, so basically there are three types of cloud deployment model. One is a public cloud, another one is a private cloud, and another one is an hybrid cloud. So in a public cloud, all the services that are being provided by the cloud service provider, they are under the control of a third party. And these services that are provided by the public cloud are available on subscription basis, that is on pay on use basis. We will not be moving into detail of these models right now. In the further chapters to come, we will read about these clouds in much detail. So next deployment model is a private cloud. So this private cloud model exists within a particular company or an organization, and this cloud is accessible only to the internal people, that is to the employers or the internal partners. So this entire cloud is under the control of an organization itself. The third deployment model is an hybrid cloud. So this, as the name indicates, hybrid, it is a combination of private and public. So here basically the leasing kind of services are being provided. So here like it provides the facilities provided by both the private cloud and the public cloud. So this all things are combined together. So these are the three major deployment models for cloud computing. Now let us understand the cloud computing reference model. So in order to access the cloud computing services, the very first thing is that the user need to have a web service or a web interface. This web interface is basically designed based upon Web 2.0. So with the help of this web interface, the user can access the services that are provided by the cloud. So basically there are three categories of services the cloud computing that provides. That is, the services that are provided by the cloud can be classified into three categories. One is called as software as a service, that is SaaS. Second one is platform as a service, that is PaaS. And third one is infrastructure as a service, that is IaaS. So these are the three services that are provided by any cloud computing service provider. So some service provider may only provide SaaS, some service provider they may provide only PaaS, and some service provider they may provide only the IaaS services. Some service provider they may provide all the three. It depends upon the type of the service provider that provides services. So first, looking into software as a service. So this basically provides the end user applications. So for example, might be the scientific applications, the or office automation, the photo editing software, the social networking software, etc. Such type of applications are designed by a cloud service provider here, and they are available globally so that people can easily access them. So examples of software as service are the Google Documents, so might be the Google Forms, the Google Documents, might be the Google Spreadsheet, etc. So these are examples of software as a service. Then most popular service for SaaS is, or a most popular example of SaaS is Facebook. You know what is the functionality Facebook provides. The next is Flickr, etc. So there are some more services which are being provided as part of SaaS. So next one is platform as a service. In a platform as a service, what happens is that the runtime environment is provided for the application. So PaaS means what? Say might be there is a software engineer, or say an R&D professional who wants to work on a particular complex problem. Say this professional does not have this sophisticated software that is required for running this application. So what this professional can do is he can rent the services or the runtime environment from the cloud service provider and get his work done. The user here need not install anything. Already all the software, everything will be installed on the cloud service provider. The user simply has to log in into the service provider site by giving his by entering his credential, that is user ID and password, and there will be certain amount that will be charged. With the help of that, the user has to log in and he can access the runtime environment, run their application and get the results. Further, if they are interested in continuing the services, they can further continue. So examples of platform of service are Windows Azure, Hadoop, Google App Engine, Anika. So these are some of the cloud service providers that provide PaaS services. Next one is infrastructure as a service. So here infrastructure as a service means the hardware, the memory, the CPU, everything is being given on rent. That is, infrastructure is given on rent. So suppose you are having a single set of CPU. So one CPU can be shared by multiple users. How that is possible? So the idea behind this is virtualization. Suppose on your computer one operating system is installed, but you are interested in testing for some other operating system. So what can be done is some virtualization can be done, virtual partitions can be created, and as and when you want, some more new operating system can be installed and you can see how they are been working out. So here for infrastructure as a service, the service providers that provide these services are Amazon EC2, S3, that is simple storage service, and RightScale and vCloud. So these are some of the cloud service providers that provide infrastructure as services. So from the cloud reference model, we have come to know that there are basically three types of services that can be provided by the cloud computing. One is SaaS, that is software as a service. Second one is PaaS, platform as a service, and third one is IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So there are some of the characteristics and benefits that are provided by the cloud computing. So these benefits are provided to both the cloud service consumers and to the providers. So the service benefits are provided to the both. So it is not that it is the cloud computing is benefiting only one end of the customers. It is benefiting to the producers also, and it is benefiting to the consumers also. So these characteristics are no upfront commitments. That is, you need not invest anything. Whatever is available, with that you can get your work done in a more better way. So there is on demand access as and when the demand for um, the resources increase, then you can easily get those infrastructure, or you can easily get those resources available. Nice pricing, that is, these cloud computing services are not costlier, they are quite cheaper, even common people can afford them. And many cloud service providers, initially they provide free services, so to attract the customers, so that once if they like their services, further they can start renting them. Then another characteristic is the simplified application acceleration and scalability. Means the application using which we people can access the cloud services are not that complicated, or they are not that sophisticated. Easily the application is quite very easy and easily it can be accessed. The next one is the efficient resource allocation. So this resource allocation basically is taken care by the providers itself. So this resource allocation is being done in a much better way or in a more efficient way. So in order to allocate resources for various users, so certain mechanisms are being taken care of. So that is, everything is being taken care by the service providers itself. Then energy efficiency, how efficiently the power can be utilized. It might be the computing power or the execution power, whatever it is been handled by the cloud service provider. So this is, the power consumption is very less here. The next one is seamless creation and use of third-party services. So that is, the cloud services, they are basically under the control of the third party. As and when needed, based upon the pay on use basis, the user can easily access the data. Okay, so these are some of the characteristics and benefits of clouds. Now, the most important thing that we need to discuss is the challenges that are associated with the cloud computing. So basically, there are more problems and challenges that are regularly being faced by the cloud community. Might be, say, the IT practitioners, might be the managers, governments, and the regulators. They are facing some problems. So first one is that there may be some technical challenges. So these technical challenges will be associated with the management of large computing infrastructure and the use of virtualization technologies. So as and when the infrastructure keeps on increasing or the infrastructure keeps on growing, it becomes very difficult for that infrastructure to be managed. So how best this large infrastructure can be managed is the biggest challenge. Now, as I've told you, the cloud computing services are to be provided as utilities. Say infrastructure as a service is to be provided, then the backbone for our services is virtualization. So how best these virtualization techniques can be implemented in order to provide the services is a biggest challenge. And the next important challenge is security in terms of confidentiality, secrecy, and protection of data. As I've told you that more of our personal data, might be the photos, might be some confidential documents, might be, say, we have stored it into the cloud. So another important question arises is whether the data is safe, whether it is secured, whether anybody is are going to use it, or they are going to rob the data, or they are going to use the data for some malicious purpose. So this is another important threat associated with the cloud computing. So here basically what happens is the organization, they don't have their own infrastructure, they rely on some other's infrastructure. The data will be stored on some other's infrastructure only. Processing will be taken, and processing also takes place at the infrastructure or the service provider side. Here user will get only the output. So there is the customer has no control over the data. That is, the entire data is under the controls of some third party. So how secure the data is, that is a biggest challenge. How the confidential data can be stored, how security can be provided to it is the biggest challenge. Again, legal issues may also arise. Now, for example, as I've told you, cloud computing means that the infrastructure, the runtime environment, and the services are all provided on rent basis. So this data, whatever we are going to store in the cloud, it is not stored at one data center at one particular place. The data centers are distributed throughout the world. Might be, say, one data center is in America, another data center is in Japan, another data center might be it is in London, etc. Or say one data center is in Australia. Consider an example of data center in Australia. If you store a data center in Australian data center, your confidential data will be maintained as confidential itself. So the government authorities will not give your data to anybody at any cost. And if the data was stored in an American data center, then if we say that, see, if our government says that there is some data that is available in your American data center, which is very, which may, uh, which is a threat to our country, then the American data center easily gives away the data to the government authorities. So I mean to say that based upon the geographical locations, the data, the security of the data is under problem. So the confidential data can easily be given up. I think many people have seen that Panama paper leak, etc., etc. So these are the results of the legal issues associated with a particular country, wherein the data which was there in the data centers were easily being leaked out. So that is, might be that was pressure from the government or from the pressure for somebody else or the political matter, whatever it is. So here, maintaining secrecy of data with respect to geographical location is very much challenging. So we conclude here that today in the today's class we have studied about what cloud computing is. So cloud computing is nothing but renting infrastructure, runtime environment and services on pay per use basis. So this principle finds several practical applications and gives different images of cloud computing to different people. So for some people are using it only for like expanding the business. Some people are using it for increasing their profit. Some people are using the cloud computing services for R&D purposes, and some people they use the cloud computing services because they don't have enough finance for investing into the infrastructure and so on. So for different types of people, there are different reasons as to why the cloud computing services are being used. So here everything is on like based upon pay per use basis. So here the data at any time, anywhere and from any device can easily be accessed provided internet connectivity is needed. Basically, there are three major cloud deployment models: private cloud, public cloud, and hybrid cloud. Cloud computing services can be classified into three categories, that is, infrastructure as a service (AaaS), platform as a service (PaaS), and software as a service (SaaS). Again, cloud computing offers many characteristics and benefits to many end users, but it also suffers certain challenges that need to be addressed seriously. So this is what we have discussed today. With this, we come to the end of the class. Thank you.